All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving deep into a story that's got me thinking about passion and guts, really going for it. We're talking about Samantha Irvin and this crazy career jump she made from like the world of WWE, professional wrestling, right into the music scene. And I've got a stack of articles here, interviews, all that good stuff. And the more I dig in, the more I realize this isn't just your average career change. This is about chasing a dream, even when it means leaving a gig where, honestly, she was killing it.
Yeah, it's funny, a lot of people probably think she was just a wrestling fan who got her break announcing, right? But her first love was music. We're talking like talent shows. She even auditioned for America's Got Talent way before WWE even crossed her mind.
Whoa, so not a fangirl turned announcer, huh? She's like a double threat, crushing it in two totally different worlds. That's awesome.
It really shows you, like, that drive to perform, right? But think about it. She could easily stayed comfortable, stuck with music. But instead, she jumps headfirst into WWE, like 2021, and just rockets up the ranks. By 2022, 2023, she's a fan favorite. Everyone knows her.
Okay, so for those of us who don't exactly live and breathe wrestling, what does that actually mean? She was just saying names, right?
Nah, dude. Ring announcing, it's a whole art form. You got to set the energy, get the crowd hyped. And Samantha, she had this presence, man, this voice. You couldn't help but listen, whether you were in the arena or at home watching TV. She started on 205 Live, which is, kind of like the minor leagues, then SmackDown, and then Raw. That's the big show, like the Super Bowl of WWE. And in a role that people sometimes forget about, she stood out. Fans loved her. Even other wrestlers were giving her props. That's not something you see every day.
Yeah, and then there's like the whole power couple thing. Her fiance, Ricochet, he's a WWE star too. They got engaged back in 2023, I think.
Yep. And when the rumors started swirling about him maybe leaving WWE, everyone just figured she'd follow, classic couple move. But that's what makes her leaving even more interesting. She didn't just tag along. She chose her own path.
So here she is on top of the world in WWE, engaged to another big name, the perfect wrestling life, right?
Yeah.
And then bam, middle of 2024, right before a massive Raw episode, she's gone.
And the rumor mill, man, it went into overdrive, backstage drama. Was she forced out? But Samantha, she shut it all down fast. No bad blood. No one pushed her out the door. She even thanked the WWE leadership publicly, Triple H specifically, for giving her the chance.
Talk about leaving on a high note. Most people would kill for that spot, but she just walks away. What does that tell you about what she's really after?
It tells you this wasn't some, spur-of-the-moment thing. This was planned, She'd been thinking about this for a while. Remember, she was already making music, even while she was in WWE. This was her going back to her roots, even though it meant leaving behind a ton of security, a ton of success. I mean, leaving right before a big Raw, that takes some serious guts. It could have backfired so easily, people could have thought she was, ditching them at the last second,
Yeah, like she didn't care about her commitments or anything.
Right, but she handled it all pretty smoothly, from what we can tell.
So no, shouting matches backstage?
Yeah.
No angry tweets or anything like that?
Nope. None that we saw. She was super professional about the whole thing, which, honestly, you don't always see that, especially in the WWE world.
Yeah, it's a pretty high-pressure environment, so that says a lot, to me at least.
Yeah.
It seems like this was a carefully thought-out plan, not just, her getting upset and storming out.
Totally. And it shows a lot of respect for WWE, for the people she worked with. She could have easily burned bridges, but she chose to leave on good terms. That says a lot about her character, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of risk-taking, I mean, leaving WWE at that point in her career was a huge gamble, right? She was at the top of her game. Fans loved her. She had those high-profile roles on SmackDown and Raw. And she walked away. It almost seems, I don't know, counterintuitive or something.
It does, and that's what makes this whole thing so interesting. It makes you question, how we define success, For a lot of people, getting to that level in WWE, that would be it. That would be the dream. But for Samantha, it seems like it was just one chapter in a much bigger story.
And that story, like we've been saying, it starts and ends with music. This wasn't just a random career shift. It was going back to what really lights her up.
And let me tell you, it was a huge risk. Think about it. She had stability in WWE, a built-in fan base, everyone knew her name. To just walk away from all that to go into music, that's a major leap of faith.
It is, but it seems like it's paying off. I mean, she's already working on new music, reconnecting with fans who remember her from those talent show days way back when.
And it's interesting, This whole thing has probably earned her even more respect, not just from music fans, but from wrestling fans too. It takes guts to walk away from a successful career to chase a dream, especially when that dream isn't a guaranteed path to, fame and fortune.
Totally. It makes you wonder what people inside WWE thought about all this. Like, were they supportive? Did they try to, convince her to stay?
Good question. We don't really have any insider info, but based on what Samantha has said publicly, it seems like the WWE leadership was pretty understanding. She mentioned being grateful for their support and the fact that there haven't been any, public feuds or anything. It suggests that there's a level of mutual respect there.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like they tried to, hold her back or make things difficult for her. And that says a lot about both Samantha's professionalism and WWE's willingness to let their talent pursue their passions, even if it means leaving the company.
It's like a win-win almost.
Yeah.
WWE gets to keep a good relationship with a former star, and Samantha gets to chase her dream without, burning any bridges.
And it all comes back to that idea of passion, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She was successful in WWE, but it wasn't fulfilling her in the same way that music does. And she had the courage to act on that, to take a risk and prioritize her own happiness, even over what other people might consider success.
Absolutely. And that's a powerful message for anyone listening, right? It's not just about wrestlers or musicians. It's about anyone who feels stuck in a job that doesn't, light them up.
Okay, so we've talked about Samantha's journey, the risks she took, the respect she's earned. But I'm curious, what's the bigger picture here? What can we as listeners take away from all of this? I mean, it's like she's saying it's okay to question what success really means, It's not always about money or being famous, right?
Exactly. It's like her story makes you think about what actually matters, right? Are we just chasing a fancy title or a big paycheck? Or are we going after what really makes us happy, even if it means taking a chance?
And I think a lot of people out there probably feel that, that stuck feeling. Deep down they know something's not right, but they're too scared to actually make a change.
Absolutely. And that's what makes her story so, so powerful. It's a real-life example of what can happen when you do take that leap. It's not about just, throwing caution to the wind, but it's about realizing when your passion is worth more than playing it safe,
Totally. And she didn't just quit her job and cross her fingers, right? She had a plan. Remember, she was already working on music while she was still in WWE. She left on good terms, kept those relationships strong. It was a calculated risk, not just a random jump.
Yeah, that's a good point. This isn't about burning bridges or making decisions without thinking. It's about being smart, looking at your options, and ultimately just trusting your gut.
So what does this all mean for us? What can we learn from her story and actually use it in our own lives?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to take some time to think about your own situation. Really be honest with yourself. Are you happy? Does your job actually line up with what you're passionate about? If not, what can you do to, move in that direction?
Maybe it's something as simple as picking up that old guitar you've got in the closet, or finally writing that book you've always dreamed of. Samantha's story is like a reminder that it's okay to go for it.
Exactly. And it's never too late to make a change, Samantha was at the top of her game in WWE, and she still decided to switch gears. It doesn't matter how old you are or how much experience you have. That shouldn't stop you from going after what you really want.
Even if it's scary, even if there's, some uncertainty there. She's a reminder that sometimes the biggest rewards come from betting on yourself, on your passions. Real success isn't always about awards and trophies, right? It's about making your life match up with what makes you happy.
I love that, making your life match up with what makes you happy. That's something we should all think about a little more,
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Samantha Irvin's journey, I want to leave you with one last thought.
Yeah.
What if passion is actually more important than stability? What if putting our dreams first, even if it means taking a risk, actually leads to a happier life? Something to think about, isn't it?